What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we've got some big news on The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, a brand new milestone for this massive Nintendo Switch title. And we also have a bunch of other great Nintendo Switch information and a big interesting piece on Final Fantasy 16 and what's going on with that game, what's going on with the PlayStation 5, and why it's only on the PlayStation 5 right now at this point. But before we get into anything, please make sure you check out our giveaway for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Nintendo Switch Collector's Edition. All you got to do to enter is subscribe, hit the like button, and check out the link in the description. Go vote on your favorite power in The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Drop a comment there, and I will pick one random winner on June 1st. Let's go ahead and jump right into it with the latest sales information for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Now, for those who don't know, or if you missed out on this, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom in its first 3 days sold over 10 million units worldwide. That ties Pokemon Scarlet and Violet as the fastest selling Nintendo game of all time and one of the fastest selling games of all time. So it definitely exceeded many people's expectations because nobody had Zelda beating out Pokemon on their bingo card earlier this year when the game was getting ready to launch. But let's talk about the latest information with the sales numbers, because in the UK, we did get the recent sales charts. Now, they don't provide any actual physical game sales numbers that we can see, and they don't count digital. What they do is talk about the charts in that specific region and go down some interesting information. Now, the biggest thing that comes from this is that The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom has now become the 6th best-selling Zelda game of all time in the UK after a week or so on the market. That is absolutely incredible. It actually passed up Link's Awakening on the Nintendo Switch and also Ocarina of Time on the Nintendo 3DS. So it already passed those up in about a week or so on the market, which is very impressive. Now, sales did drop about 70% or so when it comes down to it, but that's pretty normal for the big AAA type of games or just games at any point. But it was still #1 on the chart. So even with that drop, it was still #1 on the chart over FIFA, Hogwarts Legacy, Jedi Survivor, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet also got a big jump back in to the top 10, number 6. It was 18th last week and it jumped up to number 6. So what you're seeing here is that The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is helping other games move back into the top 10. For example, Animal Crossing, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, all of these games were outside of the top 10 in the UK. With Tears of the Kingdom being out, more people buying the Nintendo Switch, you get 3 big Nintendo Switch titles back into the top 10, not including Tears of the Kingdom, so 4 total. That is what you call cause and effect when it comes down to it. So it's good to see more people are picking up the games on the Nintendo Switch, and great to see The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, a game that launched with the Nintendo Switch 6+ years ago at this point in 2017, still selling in multiple different regions in the top sales charts. Even before we got the hype and the anticipation of Tears of the Kingdom, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild has been the true definition of evergreen game, where worldwide you can see it in the top 10, the top 20 in any given week. So that's just incredible to see Zelda really boost up its profile and to be as popular as it is. As someone who's been playing Zelda since the beginning, I never would have thought that it was able to get this big of a franchise, to be as big in terms of game sales as getting up there with Pokemon and Mario, and it's just incredible. It's just so good to see. So I'm very happy for Mr. Fubiashi. I'm very happy for Mr. Aonuma and the team. They're able to bring Zelda to the point that it is. And of course, Miyamoto, he started it all back in the day with the original Legend of Zelda on the NES. But let's go ahead and move into the next title here. We're going to talk about some Mortal Kombat 1. Yes, we didn't get any type of actual gameplay at the reveal, and some people were upset about that. We talked about that on the podcast that I'm on, the Spawncast, but that's because Jeff Keighley has got the gameplay reveal for Mortal Kombat 1. So CG trailer right now, and the surprising thing, at least for a lot of people, was the fact that this game is coming to the Nintendo Switch. Now, it wasn't surprising to me because I'm privy to the sales numbers of Mortal Kombat 11 on the Nintendo Switch, and that game did incredibly well. Shiver, Saber, the people who made that, and of course Warner Bros., they made millions upon millions of dollars on the Nintendo Switch version. There is a dedicated audience of people who want portable Mortal Kombat, very easily play offline, play with their friends right there. That's just something that Mortal Kombat and Nintendo, there's been a little bit of a weird history at the beginning, but it got very good as the years went on with certain hardware that Nintendo had. There's been various different Mortal Kombat games. So whenever they can, they usually do support Nintendo's hardware. So it doesn't really surprise me that they are going to take the time, the effort, the money to make a specific version for the Nintendo Switch, considering how great Mortal Kombat 11 did and all the millions of copies that it sold. So the first gameplay will be revealed at the Summer Games Fest with Jeff Keighley on June 8th. Pre-orders are out there, although there isn't a special edition for the Nintendo Switch. That's just Xbox Series and PlayStation 5. But if you want the premium editions and other types, there are that. It's on Amazon and various other places. You can go pre-order it. I think that Mortal Kombat, it's a stalwart in this industry. It's been here for a very long time. I've been playing it for a very long time. A new Mortal Kombat game is like clockwork, but at the same time, it's exciting because the team does a great job with the game. Now, this one's going to be a bit different. They're talking about brand new gameplay systems. They're talking about brand new story mode. They've got all new graphics mixed into there. They've got a bunch of stuff that they're adding into the experience here. And usually when they say stuff like that, they actually mean it. Mortal Kombat has evolved and changed so many times in its 30-year history or so. Like, it's evolved, it's changed, it's added, it's subtracted, it's done this, it's done that. So it looks like there's going to be an assist system like Marvel vs. Capcom, where you're going to have crazy people like Omni-Man and Homelander in there potentially. So I can't wait to see what they cook up. Ed Boon and his team has been trolling and has been gaming for so long, and I've been sticking with them for a long time. So I'm excited to see what they've got for us with Mortal Kombat 1. June 8th. That first gameplay reveal. Get ready, guys. It's going to be incredible. Now, next up, we've got Dead Cells. Return to Castlevania. This is something that I wanted to play, but there was no physical edition. I was going to buy it again digital, but now we have the confirmation, boys and girls. Here we go. So publisher Merge Games and developer Motion Twin have announced a new physical and special editions of roguelite platformer Dead Cells, including the downloadable content Return to Castlevania, plus all previous downloadable content and updates for the PS5, PS4, and the Nintendo Switch. It will launch on August 11th. It's also the first appearance of a native PlayStation 5 version, so that is very good. But let's get some details about this for the game, because the art is awesome as well. I love this. So available for pre-order from today, standard retail editions of Dead Cells Return to Castlevania will feature reversible retro cover art, harking back to the Nintendo Entertainment System and the original PlayStation eras, while the Deluxe Signature Edition adds a host of collectible extras, including an epic CD soundtrack, an exclusive art book, pin badges, and more. Now featuring the original base game for Dead Cells, along with downloadable contents Rise of the Giant, The Bad Seed, Fatal Falls, and The Queen of the Sea, plus 34 more free updates. Dead Cells Return to Castlevania introduces a brand new storyline across 2 new biomes, and there's a bunch of information about the signature edition and what you get there. I'll have that up for you guys, and of course that Return to Castlevania DLC, that is pretty much what everyone is going to buy this physical edition for, to have that on the cartridge. It's pretty cool because you can do a lot of stuff in there. I do want to read just briefly on that. A gateway to a striking castle has suddenly appeared, and an imposing warrior called Richter asks you to help him vanquish the great evil within. Enticed by the promise of new loot rather than a sense of moral duty, you strike out through the grounds and quarters of a gothic castle to find and kill this mysterious Dracula, slay hordes of supernatural minions as you face off against all new enemies with 14 unique weapons, from the iconic vampire killer whip to throwing axes and holy water. Unlock 20 outfits as you progress through the castle, letting you roleplay as your favorite characters like Alucard, Richter Belmont, Simon Belmont, Maria Renard, Trevor Belmont, Sylvia Belnades, and even Dracula himself. So This DLC is what's going to make me actually pick up the game. I was waiting for a physical, and they did it. Unfortunate that Xbox doesn't get this physical edition of it, but you know what? They're pretty much all digital anyway, so it doesn't really matter at this point. But I am copying a PS5 and also a Switch version of this, and I love it, obviously for preservation's sake, right? To have everything right there on the cartridge. I like that. I intentionally didn't buy the DLC downloadable because I knew that they'd probably do something like this because they're making millions of dollars. Because people are downloading this like crazy. It's sold incredibly well across the Nintendo Switch and PC, and the PlayStation brand has not been too bad either. But from what I'm understanding, the Switch and PC versions of this have been nuts, especially Nintendo Switch for Dead Cells. Portable Dead Cells is very fun, and portable Dead Cells cross Castlevania could be even more fun here, especially with a nice physical edition with everything on the cart. So definitely check that out, guys. But speaking of checking out some pretty cool stuff here, let's talk about this new game that's coming out this summer. Master Detective Archives, Rain Code. We've got some early game new screenshots and details. This game is looking like a very high quality, sharp AA game on the Nintendo Switch. This is exactly what we need to kind of close out the Switch era. You've got the big titles like Fire Emblem and Xenoblade that came out this year, in addition to the massive title of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, but then you also need some of these AA titles that really focus on gameplay and mechanics over huge graphical showcases and all that. This is what makes the Nintendo Switch move outside of Nintendo's big first-party games. So publisher Spike Chunsoft and developer 2Kyo Games have released new information and screenshots for detective adventure game Master Detective Archives Rain Code, introducing an unsolved case that occurs early in the game and the characters involved. So we have this unsolved case early game. So it's called the Nail Man Killings. Now, a string of murders occurs reminiscent of Kenai Ward's most famous urban legend, the Nail Man. The Nail Man is finally caught, but the suspect's young son claims that his father was falsely accused by the Amaterasu peacekeepers and seeks help from the detectives. Protagonist Yuma accepts the case and attempts to solve the mystery of the horrific locked room serial killings. Now, all you need to do is write down the name of someone you hate, then make a doll resembling that person, nail the name tag to it, and leave it at the forest behind the church. This summons the Nail Man, who will kill that person for you, or so the legend goes. So there is a lot more information on this, guys, and that description right there already tells you how dynamic and intriguing that this game is going to be. It's going to be a different style of game. It's going to have the fusion of Japanese manga and also detective crime and the supernatural all fusing together to create a pretty crazy experience, almost like a little bit of Death Note there with what's going on. And I love this style and vibe that this game is giving off. I've got a collector's edition already ready to go. Pre-ordered. I've had that pre-ordered for quite some time. I'll always support these high quality AA experiences. This isn't going to review the best or have the highest Metacritic or win any super awards or anything, but I will support dope games like this that try to do something a little bit different, and of course build a exclusive for the Nintendo Switch as well. This Nail Man is looking absolutely nuts. These environments are looking very good, and the developers actually spoke about why the game was exclusive a while back. So if you haven't seen that video of mine, make sure you check it out. I'll have a link for you guys in the description. But speaking of exclusives, let's discuss why Final Fantasy 16 is a PlayStation 5 exclusive. And honestly, this answer makes sense for what's kind of going on with Square Enix. Now, we all know Final Fantasy 16 set to launch very soon. As of the time that I'm recording this video, it's going to be out next month, and I'm excited for the game. I own all the systems. I have all of that. Like, I don't really care what comes out on what. I'm going to cop it. I'm going to buy it if I want to play the game. Some people say certain things about me, and I'm all about just Nintendo and stuff. And it's like, well, I have two PlayStation 5s. I have an Xbox Series. I have pretty much every main Xbox and PlayStation home console. Like, I got a powerful PC if I even want to play anything on there. Plus, of course, Nintendo Switch. So at the end of the day, I'm playing what I want to play, no matter what system it's on. So Final Fantasy 16 being a PS5 exclusive to me, doesn't really matter. It is what it is. You know, I have opinions in terms of other things when it comes to what they can do with Final Fantasy, but at the same time, I'm still copping Final Fantasy 16 day one at $70, no problem, because I want to play it. That's why I bought a PlayStation 5. That's why I bought an Xbox Series, so I can play whatever exclusive, whether it's Starfield or this or that, whenever I want. Now, Final Fantasy 16 producer Mr. Yoshi P, in an interview with GameInformer, explained why the game is exclusive to the PS5. Quote, Final Fantasy, being one of Square Enix's very important franchises, up there with Dragon Quest and the Kingdom Hearts series. When we do begin development, we do approach multiple platforms, multiple companies about releasing the game. And when you approach them, they're going to come back to us with their offers, Yoshida said. Now, Square Enix ended up liking Sony's offer the most and decided to make it a PS5 exclusive. Yoshida added, developing for one system is easier, and the team has gotten help from PlayStation. Quote, that said, from a developer and programmer perspective, limiting development to one system makes it not only easier on us, but allows us the ability to optimize it, he said. And that allows us the ability to maximize performance for that one system because we're only concentrating on that one system. He also added, it allows us to create the game that we want to create, and it makes it easier for us to do that. So there's multiple dynamics to this when it comes down to it. Now, at the base level, yes, they took money. That is at the root of everything. They're making this huge game. They want to hear offers, right? You want to get that investment. You want exclusive DLC. You want a timed release. This has been happening since the beginning. Well, not the very beginning, but this has been happening for decades on these systems and platforms. Developers will go and say, hey, we've got Resident Evil 4. What's your offer? We've got this. What's your offer? They will always do this. This is not a new concept. It didn't start with Sony or anything like that. This has been going on for a very long time. So yes, Square Enix and Sony, they went to it. They're like, heck yeah, we wanted some money for this. This is going to be a great game. We can build it this type of way. So yes, they took millions upon millions of dollars to get this done. And I don't fault them for that because this is going to be a very pricey game. And look, if they're offering all that money up front and you can develop on this powerful piece of hardware and you can only develop on one of them, it makes sense. Yes, I think that developing and solely focusing on one platform absolutely will improve your efficiency and make things better. And yes, you're going to get that direct support from Sony when it comes to making things work, because game development is not snapping your fingers and all of a sudden everything works because you have a powerful PS5 or you have a PC or you have a powerful Xbox. There's going to be ups and downs and bumps and lumps and all different types of things that happen, and you need that support. And that's the reason why, to me, it makes sense that they're going to do that. Final Fantasy 15 had so many issues at launch across all the platforms, and it looks like this game is not going to have any of those issues across all the platforms. Heck, you can even look at The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild compared to The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and they optimized for one platform. Yeah, it's not perfect, but they still were able to get a product that was better than it being on two platforms, with Breath of the Wild on the Wii U and also on the Nintendo Switch, because they have to optimize between both of them. So I do think that it makes sense. It allows them to focus. It allows them to really hone in. And if there's other offers later, or if they want to bring the game over later once the exclusivity deal runs out, or if there is one, or whatever the case is, they can do that later because they made a ton of money up front with just the deal to put it on PlayStation 5 by itself. And then, of course, you're going to get the game sales as well. So to me, it makes sense. I get that some people are going to be upset with that, and I understand that not everybody can afford all the systems, not trying to put like an elitist type of spin on it or anything like that. I get it, and I understand, and I sympathize with those people, but at the same time, this is high-level business. This has been happening in all forms. I used to work in a lot of business myself, and I saw these deals go down in all various forms, whether it's car businesses, whether it's recruiting, whether it's whatever the case is. So this happens, and it is what it is, but I'm excited for the game. It's coming out this June. Looking forward to it. June 22nd, 2023 to be exact. So what do you guys think about all the information that we discussed here? I know it was a lot. Let me know in the comment section. Please make sure you check out our giveaway. Go enter in. Win that Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Collector's Edition. Go enter in. Subscribe. Hit the like button. Of course, comment, vote. Everything's all there in the link in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it, and we will see you for the next video. Peace.